Well, here we are, folks. We're back again for another match in this year's VP4 Straight Pool World Championship. And it's a round 3 match, race to 150. And it's between Romario and Acero. And both players are here. Acero from Japan and Romario from the UK. And here's hoping this match goes ahead. It should go ahead. It's set in the bracket, but we had a problem last night, which was eventually rectified between Larry and Frankel. And this match due to start at 1/2 the hour. So we've got about another minute to go. We'll have a quick look at the bracket. And this is a match we're waiting on. The match we had last night was between Larry and Frankel, as I say, and Frankel ran away with it in the end. 152. What did he get? What did Larry finish on? 63. Larry had a good run, but I think he had a run of 48 or 49 to get himself back into it, but then he fell away again, and in the end it was a comfortable win for Frankel. So this is a match we're waiting on, and there's no other matches scheduled, I don't think, not even in the one loss side. There's definitely nothing there, so this is one match that we'll have today. And the room should be going up any second. Of course, the most important part of straight pool is right at the beginning of the match. It's whoever is going to win the lag. They're going to put their opponent into break. A crucial part of the game, getting the break off. Very, very difficult to get a safe break off without leaving something on, especially in Virtual Pool 4. Now there's a phone call, just be 2 seconds. Right, we're back. Oh, she's phoning again, hang on. Right, sorry about that. We're back. The match has already started. That's the only phone calls I'm going to get, I hope. So we'll join it. And, well, Romario must have won the lag and put Acero into break. Romario on a run of 9. Well, he's a bit heavy with the safety. Wanted to finish on the bottom rail with that, I think. But I don't think he's left anything on. Just check everything's working. Right, we're all okay. Now, Acero here has a rating of 2,819, and I'm expecting him to play like a player that's 2,819, and Romario left the option of a combo, so it was a poor safety, and Acero's took the opportunity. And this is why I was talking about in the stream last night, you have to study that pack, you have to make sure you're not leaving anything. And Romario's left Acero a starter, so that's a bit of a bonus. So Acero's run ends up only being 3. But like I said earlier there, you know, he's sitting on 2,819, and the true proof of how good your rating is comes in matches like this. And he's probably got most of that rating in a challenge room, and this is the time he has to prove his worth. Now this is going to be a good shot, and Romario trying a very thin cut on the 7, and again he's just leaving an easy starter here for Acero. Now there's lots of balls in the open here, so he's really got to capitalise on that. Well, everything wide open now. So it's now down to plotting your course around the table. Now these balls here, they have to be dealt with as soon as possible, because you want to be doing all your work at the top end. So he really needs to get rid of them. You can't be going up and down the table all the time, so he's looking for a blocking ball here. He needs to get rid of that one if he's going to open that up for the 5 ball. So there's a bit of work to do. Now I think the 11 ball passes that 13. The 11 goes okay. The 5 won't go into that pocket because of the 13. And he has a chance now to take the 13. He's on the 4, but he could take the 13. He's a bit straight. That's the other thing on this 4. I don't know whether he can brush into that 5. So the 3 goes as well. Now if he can get the other side of the 5, he won't need to worry about the 13. Well, he's taking the 13 now, so... But you still get these 2 balls at the bottom end of the table. The 5's going to be the break ball. It's sitting perfect. And that was Romario. That's a typical Romario shot on that 7 ball. Very tight cut. And just had a slam at it. And Acero's run goes to 13, but this is tough. It's not as close to the rail as that 7 ball, but it's as tight a cut. And that's a good shot. But of course the other problem then is he's got no position in the 5. So Romario can breathe easy for the time being, because the run is only 14, but it gives Acero a slender lead. So Acero plays the safety. No ball hits the rail, so that's 1 foul he's on. Now Romario could get clever here, but he seems keen to try and create something. I don't know what he spotted here. Is he calling the bank? No, he's decided on the safety. Yeah, that way he can leave the cue ball safe. Even though the 6 ball goes in, it still passes the play to the opponent. So that's using your head a wee bit and using the rules of the game. And remember, Acero is on 1 foul, so he's got to get a ball to a rail. More than likely the cue ball, but he's going to try and tuck it in behind the pack again, I think. Well, the ball hits the rail, so he's okay. So the safety zone is in behind that bunch of balls. And it's just a question of who's going to make the first mistake. And that must be the mistake, because Romario could see the 15. That's a good shot. Now can he capitalise on it? He's not sitting good on any ball here. There's nothing easy. So he's still got 3 balls obviously in the open, but that 7 ball goes as well. So if he can get onto it, he's got a good option to break up this cluster here. He must be looking at... This is his best opportunity to get good on that 7. Now, does he play the 7 or does he take the 2? He's going for the 2. And that, if it slows up, well, I think he's gone too straight. Well, there's a very slight angle. He can pinch a little bit of this. Just nudged 1 out. But it's not a good position. But is he on the 9? That's a bonus. That is a bonus. And Romario's playing so quickly, it doesn't give me a chance to have a look at the back. So already the run is on 10. Little split there. But this time It's gone awkward. Not an easy one ball. Difficult to judge the cutting angle when you're so close. So the mistake's made. And Romario now has a slender lead, 22 points to 16. And the 4 ball is a good break ball. That looks pretty good. Going to hit the corner of the pack, so it should free the cue ball. And he's on 1, he's on the 5, he's on the 1. So there's a couple of choices to get him going. Now, the 3's now there for the taking. The 5 at the back of the bunch of balls is there. So there's just that little cluster of 4 to worry about, but he doesn't need to really worry about them now. If he can get good in the 3, he can split them. He could even split them off the 5, or, in this case, off the one he's just shot. Off the 11. So now it's looking good. Now where's his break ball? That's the one we need to concern ourselves with. It looks as if the 12 ball would be favourite at the moment. The 14's encroaching into the triangle, so it's no good there, I think. So I think that's the break ball. It is for the time being. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the 12, the way he's lining up these balls. Now if he runs into this 9 ball here and stuns into it, it could go wrong. So he's drawn behind it. That's the way to do it. So it just needs to get a good angle on this 12. And that will do. And again, he's going to be hitting the corner of the pack, so the cue ball should be free. And he's on 1. It's never good in straight pull to hit the side of the pack. It's never really great. There's always a likelihood for the cue ball to get locked in the bunch. It's always better to try and catch a corner. The corner balls. So the run goes to 20. And the lead is beginning to build up. The lead's at 15. Again, took a little risk there, but he's nudged a few more out. Now this 6 ball looks a bit straight. Yeah, that's why he's taking the 13 instead. And he can also get rid of the 3 if he goes down, but he's leaving the 3 there. Four on the side rail. So there's a couple of balls he wants to deal with, so he can concentrate at the top end of the table. The 14 ball looks like a possible break ball, that green one there. It's a wee bit away from the pack though, but it's still in a good position. Well, now what's he on? Well, he's got the thin cut in the 6, and that's the only shot he's really got. And he's going to run into something here. So again, he needs that little bit of luck to be lying on a shot after this. Well, that's not ideal. If he takes the 14, I think he can hit the... He can possibly hit the jaw, but it's I don't think he likes it. He's looking at the cut in the 3. If he just gently rolls it in, he can get rid of that 14 that's over the middle pocket. Well, he's letting the cue ball run again. He's on the 8. He could still take the 14 and run around the angles for the 8. But now, of course, that 14 ball was the possible break ball. It's gone, so possibility for one of these two. Well, the break ball is going to be the 1 ball then. So if he runs the 11, he's either going to draw back or run around to get on the top side of the 14. He can cut the 14 in, and if he finishes like the middle diamond on this bottom rail, sort of there or thereabouts, so he's gone a wee bit further for comfort here. He would have liked to have been on that middle diamond. He's a bit too far to the left, but he's still got the shot. The run is on 31. And of course that's why you miss those cuts. They're really tough. So Romario has a 25-point lead. And Acero's coming to the table. He's got a few choices to work with here. So a chance to, well, it's okay. He's still got the backup ball on the left-hand side. This is why it's so easy to run into trouble when there's all these balls on the table. Am I out of sync? Wait a minute here, hang on a sec. Romario's at, it's Romario at the table. Here, I've got an excuse. I've just come in from work. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I rushed home to get this match. I'm all over the place here. That was it is. I'll tell you, this is what happens. I'm half asleep. I normally would have, when I normally get home at this time of day, I'm normally had something to eat and I'm actually asleep at this time. My brain's gone to sleep. So it's Romario that's chasing now. Oh dear. Thank God you're in the stream. I would have still been talking about Romario. Now, how far's that 8 ball away from the triangle? That's still okay. Either 8 or the 1. The 1's a wee bit further away, but looks as if he's taking 8. So just to clarify matters, it's Romario that's now got the deficit. It's now at 21. One thing he doesn't want to do is finish straight on the 1, so he's just going to kill the cue ball. So once again, he'll be hitting that 14 unless he's drawn it, but right, he just nudged onto the 14, and he's on the 14. He's got the 7, and nothing's sitting perfect, but he's got a couple of choices. The 10 and the 8 go. And he tried to improve matters there. I think, is he on that 5? No, that 5's glued against the 6. Now, the interesting thing now is that now that Romario is trailing, we'll see if he actually slows up a bit and becomes a wee bit more careful with his shots. Now, what's he got here? Oh, well, did he play for that 10 ball? It doesn't matter, he's found a gap. And that 6 and 5 from this side, the combo looks as if it's going just to the edge of the jaw. It looks as if it's going in, but that's a nice little brush onto the cluster, and that's opened things up very nicely. Three balls, the problem ball, very close to that middle pocket knuckle. He just brushed it and made no difference. So 31 the lead for Acero. Well, where's the break ball? If he's got a slight angle on the 9, he can do a little nudge like that. Well, he has improved the situation because he's now got the 6 in the open at the back of the pack. Let's have a look where it's sitting. Well, it's not perfect. So now it's going to be the 3 ball and then the 5, I would think. Now how's that for an angle? Well, he's got the angle, but this is the one where you don't want to run into right into the back of the pack. Ideally you want to hit the corner. You hit the corner ball, you hit the 11. Now, well, he's got a cut back in the 9, and that might be his only real choice here. I don't see a heck of a lot more to work with. He's got a tough one on the 14 and a tough one in the 9. But if he can get this, he's still got these other 3 or 4 balls sitting in the open. And there's a mistake. An unexpected mistake. And the run comes to an end in 20, and Romario comes to the table 37 points behind. So let's see how he manages his cue ball here. And it's always the case in any pool or billiard game, when you start letting that cue ball run, when you're not in a position to keep tight control of the cue ball and you have to let it run, it's going to run into obstacles, and you know the worst possible outcome's a scratch, which is what happened there. And that's just purely from the fact he was on that tight angle in the 9 ball. Or was it the 9 he was trying to pot? I can't remember, but anyway, it's given Romario a chance. Question is whether he can eat into that deficit. And this is where the pressure's on when you're trailing. When you've got a reasonable opportunity to do some scoring, you've got to really capitalise on it, because you don't want to be getting a run of 6 or 7 and then you're leaving your opponent back in. So the onus is on Romario to get his act together here. And he's got a bit of a problem still to deal with. This is his last open ball, unless he can just, I think he's got a slight angle to drop onto the 4. You see, he's letting the cue ball run there. He didn't need to play that, and that's taking a risk. Didn't need to do it. He had an angle to pot the 4. You know, if it works out, that's fine, but you know, if the ball's in the open, you don't need to move other balls when you've got a ball there for the taking. Now it's all gone wrong. And the run is only 9, and that's exactly the point I'm making. I think he should have just potted that 7 in the middle. He had a slight angle just to drop onto the rail, get on the 4, and work it from there, rather than trying to be overly aggressive. Because now all he's done is opened everything up, and these remaining balls are all for Acero. Well, that needs to run, because the 4's blocked there by the 9. And likewise with that shot, he's left himself very tight on, it's not the 9, it's the 13, that one. This is very tight. I think he can squeeze it, just a little bit of English, but he's not risking it. And that will do it. So now the 4 ball is in the triangle, so that's going to go down onto the break spot. So he needs to get that cue ball up the table. Oh, well, he's nudged it out. So now he's got the cue ball in hand, and that's worked out very nice. Well, he's on a long 2. I don't think he's got much else as a starter. And the problem here is this is really awkward because he's over that 10 ball. And it's so easy to put English on it. And that's the problem. You're looking down on top of that cue ball. It's very difficult to get the alignment and make sure that you're hitting it pure. I don't know whether he used the W button to actually walk back and try and line it up that way. That's what I tend to do. But that was his downfall there, been right over, Chinese snookered over that 10 ball. So it's another bite at the cherry for Romario. He's 32 behind. Acero's run cut drastically short. And, well, he hasn't really slowed down much, Romario, has he? Now, what's he thinking about now? He's certainly not going to take the 6 from where he's sitting there. Those 2 balls in the top rail. The 10 ball pots if you get here. But if you're that side, you're leaving. Well, it's now even worse. It was a possible combo. It's certainly not a combo now. And now he's playing from distance, and this is where things get awkward. He can roll the 8 in on that left hand rail, and he can drop behind any of those cluster of balls into this right middle if he wants. I think he's just played that a wee bit more delicate. He's on the 6, but if he'd just come out a bit further, he'd have been on the 7, or if he'd got really good, he could have got on the 12. And likewise from the right hand side of the table, if you look at the 14 ball there, he can finish anywhere here for a choice of balls. Well, he's taking the 14, but he's the wrong side of the bunch. So now he's out of line. And I think he's got the pace nice here though. That looks good. Well, the 12 doesn't go from this side, but certainly the 5 does, and the 7 does. He didn't get a nudge on the 10. Now this is, what the hell, I've hit the wrong button there. He's still going. 10 ball looks like the break ball. So he needs an angle. He needs either to be... Well, he's going to take the 13 as a break ball. Now, can he get enough into this cue ball from that angle to get into the pack? Yes, he certainly can. And how's his luck? Well, I don't like what I'm seeing. Now this is where he has to, I mean, look at the shots he's got. Can he get that one? No, he can't. The only way he'd get that would be spinning it around the 2. Now, he doesn't want to get desperate and try and... He could easily play a safety and just tie something up and keep the cue ball tight. But he's gone for it. He's going for his shots. He's got to get the reward though. He needs to get this deficit right down. But he's still in an awkward place. And now he's in business. That shot there, just that one shot, has now got everything opened up. And it's looking good now. 4 ball. I think it's the 4 ball. is stuck right in the middle of the triangle. And Romario's run goes to 19 with every ball sitting there for the taking. Maybe a bit of a problem with the 2 and the 1 though. So he's now reduced the deficit to 12. And that's a nice touch. That's just brushed into the 2. And that's freed them up. Well, now he's ended up in no man's land a wee bit. He's still okay. It's a little bit of a cut. And now it's getting awkward, so it might be the cut in the 1 here, I don't know. This doesn't look good. That looks like a good odds on bet for a scratch, that 14. Needs to make sure he doesn't run into the corner pocket. If he's going to try cutting that into the middle, I would still favour the 1 ball. He's chosen the 1. And where's the cue ball going to end up? Well, that's a reasonable enough angle in the 9 to get up to the top end of the table. And he just run out the pack, so the run comes to an end at 27, and that's a poor shot. That is a cardinal sin in straight pool. Playing the safety on the bunch and nudging out a ball. It's just careless. You've got to be really, really thin and just brush the pack. When these balls are all close together, it only needs a tap to run through a couple of balls and nudge one out. Okay, Acero's not sitting good here. So it doesn't look as if he's going to score a barrel load on this visit. And he's missed a pack. Well, he was trying to get it thin. I think he's missed a pack. So it's a foul, but no damage done. Just loses a point. And what's the golden rule in straight pool? Whenever you've got the bunch of balls, and before you play a shot or while your opponent's at the table, you always should get down and study the pack and just look at the way everything's lying, especially if you're going to play thin off the pack. You have to look at where balls might go. You've got to be careful, ultra careful in this game. Easy safety off the 5, nudge it along the rail towards the 2 and get the cue ball down in the long grass. Well, he's well short of pace. That should have been right down on this bottom rail. The further the distance the cue ball has to go when the opponent's playing a safety, the trickier it becomes just to judge that touch on the object ball. And this time, it's Romario that's going to have to be careful, because if he plays the safety off that 7, he's going to nudge it along the back rail towards this left-hand corner pocket. So the safest place is in the pack. This is where you have to use your tactics. The deliberate foul does no harm. It only costs you a point. And he's played that well. He played the 2 instead. And now the 2 can be a stopper for Romario. Well, he's caught the back end of the 7. Got that wrong. Missed it on the way up, hit it on the way back. But what damage has he done? Well, he certainly left a cut here for Acero. And this is an attacking shot, because that cue ball can go right into the back of the pack, and he's broke them. I don't think he's left anything ideal. Is he on that 10 at the back of the 12? I think he can pot that 12, can he? Maybe not. It's a little delicate cut back. Once again, this is out of line. That nudge on the 3 has left him a thinnish cut into the left middle. Cue ball's going to be running up the table, so it looks as if it could be the 7 or the 1 next. But there's not an awful lot more to choose from. So he's going to have to be in a position where he can actually start nudging those balls. And those 2 balls, the 8 ball and the 14 that are stuck together, they're not really in any great position to do that. So he can get rid of the 14. He's looking at the 8. Does the 8 squeeze past that? Yes, it does. But if he leaves the 8 ball there, that's certainly a good ball to nudge into those 4 balls in the cluster and open them. He might even try and do it off the 7, but that's again a little awkward. Got to be careful with the pace. And you see what's happened. He's locked onto the bunch. Cue ball didn't keep the momentum. I think he's maybe got away with it. Got a slightly tough one here again in the 9. Well, 8 ball is the favourite for the break shot at this moment in time, unless he nudges into it. That needs to get away from the rail. That's now left it awkward. Now, can he pot the 10 and avoid running into that 8? I don't think he can. Well, he's digging right into it to try and avoid that. But that makes this shot more difficult. And he's going to scratch. Oh! Well, here's a test of nerve. There's no way he's cutting that in. Surely. Oh, just the safety. No, I think Romario can... Well, I don't know whether he wanted to try and just draw the cue ball into the pack there. He's okay, I think. There's a possible combo, but again, it'd be an aggressive and ambitious shot to be playing that. And he's done the right thing. Try and lock that cue ball up on the 5 ball, and he's done that pretty well. And this is where the control of the cue ball and your touch is tested to the full in straight pool when you're trying to keep it safe. But is it safe? Acero's lining up the 6. Yeah, I think he can get to the pot angle. And it's only that little bit of carelessness that can leave your opponent a shot. And this shot's going to open him. Well, it hasn't opened him at all. It hasn't opened him at all. All he's done is get an extra point for his hard work. But the 3 ball, it goes. The 8 goes. No problem there. So he's got an easy 12, and he can finish on either of those two. If he wants to go further up the table, he can take the 2. But the 3 ball would nudge onto the 10. But then you're just relying on your pace to keep things under control when you're in a tight space is very difficult. It's with a cluster of balls and balls lying open, it's so easy just to lock yourself up behind something. You just overhit it slightly. You've always got to be ultra careful. So Acero goes to 90. Romario back there on 66. And these points are all due to Romario's safety error. Well, I think it's only the 2 he's got. Don't know whether he can thin cut that 14. That looks a pretty thin cut. No, there's no way he's cutting that, so it's got to be the 2. He could call the bank in a 14 though, but you would only do that out of desperation. But he doesn't want this cue ball to run right across the table because he can block himself off. And, well, the 9 does go. And the 11, well, that's very tight. I think it goes in off the jaw though. Yes, oh no, there's plenty of room. Now you see he's just running out of line here. And the run comes to an end on 12. And the lead is 30. So, will Romario respond to the deficit? And straight away, he's run into trouble. Now, is he going to bank and call the 1? What's he doing? I think he fancies the bank and calling the one. Bank up and down the table. And that looks as if he maybe had unwanted English on the cue ball there. I don't know, but he was well off the mark. So Romario's visit, only 1 point. There's no doubt he's going to run into something here, and he certainly needs to have another shot after this one. Just depends how aggressive he's going to be with the cue ball. And that's again worked out very nice. Got a couple of choices. Now, if he can get on that one, that'd be an option and an opportunity to just nudge the cluster when he gets down to it. Now he's got an angle in this 6 ball. If he can avoid running into the 7, he could get position on that 1. Oh, that little kiss in the 7 has worked out very nice. Now the question is, does he take the 2 or does he go and take his opportunity? And he's going to take the 1 and just nudge them. And that gets rid of the 10. Now the other problem to deal with would be the 13 to open these 2 balls up to that pocket. That 11 goes without any other movement. If he does that, that frees up the 3. So you got to plan ahead. Got to be careful here. He doesn't want to run in behind these balls and block himself here. These 2 balls on the left hand side. Well, it's gone wrong. He is on the 11. He can pot the 11, but it's not easy to judge when it's very close to the 13 to go to the pocket. So the only other choice would be the 5 or the combo. Now this means the cue ball's running again. Now he's taking the 11. And now he's back in business. The run goes to 11, but more importantly, this run has taken Acero over 100. He's now in 107 with a lead of 40. And Romario's last visit, remember, was only 1 point. And there's a mistake. Well, that is an unexpected error, and Romario quite simply has to take advantage of that. What's his options here? Well, the 13 is in the triangle, the 3's in the triangle. He's going to get rid of that. He's nudged the 13 out of the triangle. But he's got his emergency backup down here, but he doesn't want to be playing that to get back up for the 13 as a break ball. If I was him, I'd be taking that now. Well, that's not even going to be the break ball now. And it makes it even more vital that he gets good on this last ball. Well, he has the angle, but he has to get that stun right, and that's worked out okay. He's on a ball, is he? Oh, that one ball has just come across, but that's fine. He's still got the 7. And this is, well, right now as the match stands, this is the most important visit of the match for Romario. He has to score. 3 and 4 doesn't get the job done. He has to get well into double figures here to get the deficit down. And we've got problems at the top end of the table. The 6 certainly pots, but we have the 14 and the 2 on the top rail. One blocking the other. He's going to try and little nudge this here. How's that finished? Well, he could pot the 2. Taking the 11, I think it is. And he could drop in behind the 2 again off the 8 ball. But he's hung up the 13. So another mistake by Romario. And he simply hasn't changed his pace one bit. I always think he still plays too quickly. When it works, it looks good. But when you're chasing a deficit and you're only getting like 10 or 11, and then you're gifting your opponent an opportunity just to stretch the lead even further. So the lead is back to 40. And the 8 ball is actually encroaching into the triangle, I think. We'll soon find out. No. No. So now it's a pretty good break ball. If you can get the potting angle. He's got a shot though. One shot in the 2. So these all should have been Romario's. And that's the worst thing about straight pool. When you've made that mistake, is sitting watching your opponent just put away all the balls that should have been yours. An 11 ball will go, and that will certainly cause some movement.
And he's good. Can he get to that 6? Because that 4's tight past the 6. This is going a little bit of pear shape here. Thin cut in the 15. Oh, he can get that 6 every day of the week. Get a bus through there. Well, those two balls are definitely in the triangle, 100%. He could nudge them now, or he could just play the inside English to finish this side. It looks like that's what he's doing. He's hit it a bit heavy. And that's why it causes the miss. So once again, Romario, the run comes to an end at 18. Romario comes to the table well behind, back there in 79. Acero on 125, needing another 25 for the win. Now, how's he sitting? He can just get to it, and that has actually just spun on the spot, and he's on nothing. Well, here's the desperation shot. It should have been a safety into the pack here. And you see, that's where he's just cut his own throat there. He should have just played the safety, and the inevitable's going to happen when you start trying to pull out banks when it's not necessary that you do it. Because he's now watching Acero whittle down the remaining points here. There's no way if I was trailing by like 50 points, I would have played the bank there. I would have just played it safe. The penalty and the price you pay for missing the bank can be the ultimate price, can end up just costing you the match. So the problem balls are the two balls in the side rail. They're not set as a combo. But he's looking at a thin cut in the 3 here, is he? Oh, he's not going to pot that. I don't think he can get. Can he get to that potting angle in the 3? That's fairly tight. but he's got it. And that now opens up the 11 down the rail. The only thing he's done there is nudged the 4 onto the left rail. And he's now nudged the 8 onto the 11. So the situation's now got slightly worse than what it was 2 minutes ago. And likewise for Acero, he's got the cut back and the cue ball could run into that 6 ball. Might even hit the 4. Yep. Well, that's opened it up again there. And that's a nice little touch. How's his luck again? Is he too close to the 11? I think he is. He's got no shot. See, if he just played a deliberate foul here, he could leave it all tied up with just nudging the cue ball without having to open up this 11. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. That is the shot of the game. To pick that cut at such a close angle, that is an excellent shot. Well, Acero's made his mind up. He's going for the throw it. He's on 134. Needs another 15. And that 14 ball looks to be ideal as a break ball. And the angle's there on the 6 where he can get across the right hand side of the table. Needs to go a wee bit further. Well, he's fell short. That 10 ball's a break ball as well. So, Romario, if this goes all to plan, Romario might have already played his last shot. And I think looking at this shot here, that's finished as good as it's ever going to be for a break shot. Got a little brush off those balls. How's he finished? Well, it looks as if it's going to have to be the 8 ball into that left middle. And from where the path of the cue ball's going, he's going to leave himself a cut back in the 6. Well, that 9 is set to the corner. So if he's already looked at that, he could play the 15-9 off the 6 if he wanted. Well, he's got the 6 and a 9. And Acero's run has come to an end at 17. And Romario at the point of no return, way back there on 82. So we've got a 60-point deficit. And Romario has almost scratched. And this is desperation stakes now. He's going to have to call another combo. And another one where he's just not getting in line here. It's another thin cut. And he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth to keep this little visit going. Now is he straight on that too? No, he's got a slight angle so he can come up the table. And I think he would have rather missed that 15 in the way up there. Still on it though, but he's not got any great angle here to do much, so the little nudge onto the 3. Well, he doesn't want the cue ball to finish behind a bunch. Well, he's made a right hash of that, so Acero needing 8 points. Romario's visit finishes on 7. Takes him up to 89. Now, somewhere there on that sort of line would allow him to cut the 3 and get the cue ball into that pack. And that's the problem with hitting the side of the pack, as he locked onto that 1. Well, Romario will never play any different. He's been doing it for 20 years. I've been watching him. So, Acero now on 148, and the balls that he needs are all just sitting there. And the last match that Romario played against free ball didn't score heavily enough with the chances he got. Romario got a high run of 51. But when you step up in class a bit, then those mistakes that you make are going to be punished more severely, and they have been today. And Acero wins the match by 150 points to 89. And we'll have one final look at the bracket once this updates. And I think we'll find that Acero's going to have a bit of a wait, because Super Malt has been advanced in a match against Tin. For whatever reason, he forfeited. We've got Baker Maker in a second round match against Albinario. They still haven't arranged anything. And the winner of that match will play Super Malt, and then of course the winner of that match will be the next opponent for Acero. So Acero's going to have quite a wait before he gets his next match. And if we look in the bottom half of the draw here, we can see Franco sitting there waiting in round 4. and he is waiting on the winner of semi-pro, and Vince says, and that's going to be a good matchup. Whoever wins that match, I would like to see that one. So until the next time, until we have another match that I can get in time to watch, we will bid you goodbye, and we'll see you again soon. And thanks for watching. I think you were the only one that was watching this one, Bedhead. We will see you again soon. Take care.